What's up, guys? This is Mr. Blackson from Team Blacksmith. Welcome to my channel. Wanted to come through real quick and give a update on my B&T BWC9. Now, I did a review on this a couple of weeks ago where I was having some initial issues with this beautiful compact concealed carry briefcase, gun, suitcase, boombox, many names for it, but again, an amazing build and design by B&T. Now, if you check out the previous reviews, you can see some of the issues I was having, but I'll touch on those real quick. Now, initially, I had the P320 X Carry compact slide for the chassis, and of course, the P320 fire control unit that I dropped in there. Now, if you have an existing P320 6-hour handgun, you can actually remove the control unit out of that along with the slide and place that in here. And of course, once you do that, you have to SBR this or Form 1 it, and that's an additional $200. Now it's considered an SBR. But with that put aside, the issues I was having. So let's open this up real quick here. Love the design. And of course, no mag, it's empty. I'm gonna rack this back real quick. All clear. All right, so initially with the compact carry slide, the issues I was having, one, where the trigger guard folds into. Now this is exposed. Now a lot of carbon blast was coming out. My hand was just completely covered in carbon, had black stripes all over the place. But it did not burn. But another issue when I was shooting it, and check out the previous review that I did, the link's in the description, a lot of the blast was coming from the top with the compact carry slide. So God forbid if you had your hands up too high, you would get a nasty burn. But no burn from the bottom, it's just a carbon blast coming out. But a lot of carbon builds up on the inside with the compact carry slide. So once the carbon built up, it was hard to rack it back to ring gauge the slide. Now the last issue I was having, this was locking back. And even with the charging handle and the spacers that they gave you to put in there to give you a little bit more leverage and room to push back on the slide, it still would not unlock. So I did give B&P a call, and after a little bit of discussion with them, they told me that this was initially designed to work with the M17 slide, the P320 M17 slide, and of course the P320 fire control unit. Now this was a little tight fit, but I love the flat face trigger. Actually, a little snug, but it actually went in there. So I did decide to buy a P320 slide of 4.7 inches long on the barrel. I'm going to pop this open, so the pin here, pop that out inside there, and take off the top part of the chassis. Alright, so went with the P320 M17 slide, but you can actually put a 5-inch slide barrel in a slide in there. Now, less carbon buildup, no blast coming from the top of the chassis in that opening there, and no carbon coming out from the bottom with the full-size slide. And the other issue I was having, that they told me these are not meant to lock back. I was like, well, it's locking back. He said, well, you can send it back in, we'll take a look at it. But the sides of the unit was supposed to put enough downward pressure on this where the slide would not engage and lock back. So after talking to my man Matt at Shooting Doors, King of Prussia, he knew a lot about this design and previous designs of this model. And he said, yeah, these are not meant to lock back. It should have enough pressure here to keep enough downward pressure to stop the slide from locking. So he's like, hey, I got a solution. So he got me some heat resistant tape to put in here to put enough pressure on this side so it would not lock back. Now once we put all that in place and I put it back together, and put a couple more rounds through it. The problems were resolved, and I was very satisfied that just a little bit of tape and using a full-size slide, there was no carbon buildup from the bottom, no blast of coming out from the top where it could actually burn your fingers. Everything was being pushed out forward, less carbon buildup with this size, the 4.7-inch slide. Now, if you had a 5-inch slide, barrel, it would actually work even better. But once we took a look at it and tried to close it, you can see there it is not closing. So little thing we had to do, and that's just to prop it up just a little, engage the charging handle, and now you're back in business. Pin drops back into place, and we are all set. All clear, of course. Alright, so that is just my quick update on the B&T BWC9, just the minor changes. So I do recommend staying away from the compact carry slide just for those reasons. So please check out the previous review that I did, showing you the range footage. But I do recommend going with a full-size slide, again with the P320 M17, or if you can find a 5-inch barrel slide to work in here, that would actually work a little better. But everything's functioning correctly now. Don't have to send it back to B&T. I'm very satisfied overall with the BWC9. Alright, so that is it for my review of the BWC9. Like I said, very beautiful. Love this uniqueness of it. And that is all I have. So this is Mr. Blackson from Team Blacksmith. As always, like, share, subscribe, join the team. I'm out.